Hello crafters, happy Saturday. Hope everyone is enjoying the day. Here in Florida it is very gloomy, so a perfect crafting day. I'm just going to check and make sure I'm live and then we will get started. It's the Super Bowl this weekend. Who is excited for the Super Bowl? I'm like tossed, who do I want to win? But I think it's going to be a great game. So I am live, which is great. Today we are going to play with some stencils and distressed oxides and some stickles, glitter glue. So let's get started. I shared this. Okay, great. So like I said, we're gonna play with the distressed oxide. This is the Tattered Rose. I'm gonna be using an ink blending tool. And we are going to use Stickles glitter gel. So this is not the Stickles that comes in the little tubes. I'll show you one of those just so you know what I'm talking about. With these Stickles, these are much thinner. This is much thicker. So we're gonna play with the glitter gel today. And we are also going to need a palette knife and a stencil. Let me show you the stencil we're gonna work with. I backed it on this pink paper so you might be able to see a little better. I think this is called a mandolin. It's a beautiful design. It's 12 by 12. This comes in our stencil pack number 1. So you also get in here, so you receive 3 stencils. I'll show you. So you receive the mandolin, and then you receive this cool, it's like a flower burst type of design, if you can see that. Hard to see the videos because it's on clear acetate. And then the third one you receive is this cascading hearts. So stencils are really fun to play with inks, to use texture paste, and we're going to create one today using the mandolin. This is the one that we're going to play with. Okay, so let me just get out the supplies that I need. So on my, under me, I'm working on a Versamat. I have 2 Versamats together to make a 24 across, because each one is 12 by 12. And then you definitely need your all-purpose mat. All-purpose mats are great. They clean up super easy, and they're great for doing inking, texture paste. And here is my white cardstock that we're going to use. So one trick that you want to do is washi tape. So I'm going to tape down my white cardstock. Now, the size of the cardstock I need is, this is going to be on the front of a card. We're going to make a card after we create this. So it's cut bigger. This is probably about, let me measure it. This is 6 by 5.5. So this piece of paper right in front of me is 6 by 5.5. So you want to make it a little bigger and then trim down to fit your card front. So I'm just going to put down some washi tape so this stays in place. I'm going to tape it along the edges. And then I'm going to bring in my stencil. And I'm also going to tape down my stencil. Now, I want to show you, if you can, I hope you can see this in the video. So depending on what you want to do, you can move the stencil around and use whatever part you want. So I'm just going to place it right into the middle. Actually, I'm going to maybe go up a little like that. And I'm also I used washi tape to tape down my stencil so that that kind of stays in place as I'm applying pressure from doing the inking. Okay, so we're all ready. My surface is covered. Oh, and another thing I want to tell you, after you use a stencil, if you're using ink or texture paste or any type of glitter gel, you want to right away go bring it into your kitchen sink and clean it off just with some warm water. You can use dish soap because especially texture paste, you don't want your texture paste to stay on here because then it's going to be very hard to get off. But I have to my right, which you can't see on camera, but I have a very large Tupperware filled with water. have my Starbucks coffee. I'll get that out of the way. So I am ready. So this is a Show Me Saturday this week, and we're going to be doing the Distress Oxide first, and then we're going to come in and we're going to be applying the glitter gel. And also on your palette knife, when you're done working with this, you want to drop that in the water. I'm going to grab a couple of paper towels so I have it nearby. And then your all-purpose mat, this cleans up very easy with a swipe of a baby wipe. So I always have baby wipes handy in my craft space because that's what you want to use as well. So we're going to first start with the Tattered Rose. Now, if you never worked with Distress Oxide, the trick to this is you want to start off the paper and then bring a circular motion in. And I'm not sure if you can see this, so I hope it doesn't mess up, but some of these stencils are very delicate. So yesterday when I was playing around, I kind of went upward, and that wasn't good because now this part of my stencil sticks up. So my fingers are going to get a little inky, and I'll just press that down. So all you want to do is press down using your blending tool. And then, like I said, you're going to just hold your stencil and work off the paper inward. Now, depending on how much color you want to show, see, I'm just going to tap on that because that's lifted up. You just keep going over, and the pressure is controlled by you. So if you use lots of pressure, your color transfer onto the paper will be darker. The less pressure, it's going to be a little bit lighter. So if you can see right now it's light, I'm going to kind of just go over, and you see right there it's a little darker because I didn't start off the page. And the reason why you start off the page is because if you just tapped on your ink pad and went directly onto this paper, it's going to be a heavy, I wish I had a scrap to show you. No, that's pink. That's no good. Hold on. I have a piece of paper right here. So if I just went directly onto my paper, you see how it makes that mark right there, and you're not going to be able to blend that out. So you want to kind of work it and then pull the color down, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to start off my page and just bring it in. And then again, how you can't go wrong with these Distress Oxides. Just keep going over till you get the desired depth of color. The more you go over, the darker it's going to be. So you're going to see now that the color has transferred pretty much on. This is a light color, this Tattered Rose. Now again, where my stencil sticking up, because you know, I'm not perfect and I'm learning some too in these 3 spaces here. I'm just going to kind of pat down so that I don't ruin my stencil anymore. Now I'm going to go into the middle. So you do want to work with the stencil. If you have some delicate areas like I do here, I would just take my ink and kind of pat those down. And I think I've almost got the color that I'm trying to achieve here. But again, just keep the circular motion using the pressure of how much you want the color to transfer. And remember, I'm going to trim this down to about 4 1/8 or 4 by 5 1/4 because this is going to be the base of my card front. Okay, so I think that might be good. Okay, I'm going to lift this up so that you can see what this looks like. So can you see that? How cool does that look? I really enjoy working with stencils. You can do an entire 12 by 12 page and make this the back of a scrapbook layout, make this your back pattern paper, or like I'm going to show you now, we're going to cut this down and do it on a card front. So now I'm going to pull out my Stickers glitter gel, and this is very thick, like I mentioned, and you'll see. I'm going to use one of my palette knives. Okay, look at how thick this is. And that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, it's really, kind of reminds me of, I don't know, slime. Like, you know how these kids make slime? Okay, so you're just gonna grab some of it, put it onto your project, and then I like to use the back side and just work it up. And just transfer. And this is moon dust, by the way. And again, where that stencil's sticking up right there, I just have to be a little delicate. I think what I'm going to do is tape that down and maybe put it under a book. And, you know, you can have as much or as little on this and just keep working it through. And this is the reason, now you know why you want to tape down your stencil and your paper. Again, I'm going to put some more and work it through. This glitter gel too is hard to keep in stock. Everybody really does working with these. They're a mixed media. Okay. And then this takes a while to dry. So I'm going to show you, I did create one last night. For the sake of the video and for time, we're just going to put it together and I'll show you the end result. But this will be used for another card that I create after it dries. Okay, I think that is good. And then you just want to take off your extra. Do you want this thin? You don't want a thick layer. Okay, I think we may be fully covered there. So what I'm going to do is cover up my glitter gel. I'm going to shake my palette knife in my water and just clean that off right away. Then I am going to take off my washi and I'll show you how this comes out. I'm going to remove the stencil and I'm just going to put the stencil into the water so it's sitting there ready for me to clean when I'm all finished. And now let's lift this guy up. Now this is very wet, so you want to leave this for a good amount of time to dry. And look at that. How cool is that? I hope you can see in the video the glitter. It's so beautiful in person. So, like I said, this is very wet. There's, I can't really create a card with this right now because I need to trim it down. So I'm just going to put this on the side. I'm going to grab a baby wipe, show you how easy it is to clean up your all-purpose mat here. Okay. Just take your baby wipe and everything comes off this. Any ink, the glitter gel, and that's all you need to do with your all-purpose mat. Toss that, then I'll come in with a paper towel just to dry that. And then I will remove this from my surface. Now, I will come in with the one I created last night that I had already trimmed down. So here you go. Has a really cool dimension to it. None of the glitter comes off. So if you can see that in the video, it's beautiful. So we're going to make a card, and I did a lot of the pre-cutting already, and I will show you the items that we're going to use. So this is our holographic paper. It's really cool, and depending on what you back it on is the color that kind of shines through. I'll show you. You received 12 by 12. This is the Twinkle Toes. So you see some yellow and gold and pink and purple. And if I put it against purple, a purple would shine through. So the holographic paper is really cool. I used, for my sentiment, this is So Happy Together. This is D1954. I stamped Dream Big. Okay. I used our stitched scallop brackets. These are, I use these all the time. I only use the small one, but you can see the large one backs up to it very nice. And I actually was going to use this, but then I thought it was just too much glitter, so I'll save this for another project. But this is what these two thin cuts will create. So we're just going to use the small one. And I stamped that in our flamingo ink. I'll get this out of the way. And then I trim this down. So we are just going to get to creating that. And this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 A2 size card, and I trimmed everything 1/8 of an inch so that it just layers with a tiny bit of peeking through. I popped this up on some foam tape. I'm going to use my favorite liquid glue. We don't sell this, but I love Art Glitter Glue, and I just received some. I bought it right on their website. Just gives a nice thin line, and you have like a second to move around. So I'm going to put that on. Okay, I have my inside layer. I always like to layer my cards, especially if they're colored. I'm going to put this down, and this is where I will either stamp or write a sentiment. I'm not sure who's going to get this card yet, so I will leave it blank for now. And this is just cut at 4 by 5 1/4. That's my inside. Now, I do not believe that, I'm not sure what will stick to the holographic. So we're going to try, actually, I'm going to use adhesive tape runner. And I'm going to get very close to the edges here because I want this to stick down nice. Okay, just going to move this in by me a second to line it up. There you go. Really cute. Love this card. And you see how that holographic, I'm not sure if you can see in the video, but depending on the way I turn it, I'm seeing pink and yellow. So really cute. I also threw some enamel dots that I had in my stash on here. And where do I want this sentiment to go? Down below, or actually covering that middle piece right there. I think it looks really great right there. There you have it. Love this card. So again, we used our Distress Oxide. We did that first over our stencil, and then we came over with the glitter gel, the Stickles glitter gel. And we do have a few other colors in the Stickles glitter gel. It's, like I said, it's hard to keep this stuff in stock, but when you see it, you might want to grab it. It comes in a gold. It also comes in this, I don't know what color this is called, but it's got these like purples and blacks. That's a really cool color. And then this one has inside of it stars. It's like a mix of silver and gold, and it has stars in it. And then just another moon dust because I love the moon dust. And yeah, I used the stitch scallop thin cuts on here. I used some holographic paper, and I used stencil pack number 1, which came with the mandolin. You also receive the cascading hearts and then the like starburst kind of flower. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. You can find all the products that I used today on my website, craftydivausa.ctmh.com. You can email me any questions that you may have, craftydivausa@gmail.com. And let me show you, any order placed on my website this month through February 28th, you will be entered into a raffle to receive this Happiness Lives Here stamp and thin cut. So this I will spin the wheel for anybody who places an order on March 1st, and then I will ship this out to you. So that's this month's special that I have going on. Also, if you would like to be added to my newsletter so you don't miss out on any of the deals, promotions, send me an email and give me your email so that I can add you. My newsletter goes out usually within the first few days of the month. And then also don't forget, Close to My Heart has a VIP customer, which it's $35 to join. You get $15 back in instant credit, so it's a net 20. And there's so many perks that come along with that. You receive the stamp of the month free with the qualifying purchase, which is an $18.95 value. You also receive 15% back in credits for all the products that you purchase. So if you're a crafter, it is a great program. It's a rewards program, pays you for what you spend, and you receive that money back. So I hope you enjoyed this week's Show Me Saturday. And again, any questions on anything that I did here, please reach out to me. And I hope you have a great Super Bowl weekend. Go Tampa.